Shut up! I'm John Morgan. I'm here with my very good friend Cheryl, who also happens to be my interviewer today. And I'm a coach, and I help people to connect with their hearts and to do what they love and to lead with purpose and authenticity and to be more powerful and more loving. And my mission is really to make a better world through doing that, through working with leaders mostly.
How do you use mindfulness in your work as a coach?
To use it myself, not teaching mindfulness, but being mindful. I do coaching in a very intuitive way, and the way that I know what question to ask is to be aware of what curiosity is coming up within me. Not from an intellectual place where I'm trying to get some outcome, but like, what am I feeling in my body? What do I really want to know? What am I afraid to ask? And so I think the more mindful I am, the more aware I am of questions that I can use in coaching that come from a deeper place.
I want some examples actually. So examples of how, say maybe in the past, where you've been unconscious or present in a situation, and that's led maybe to pain.
Well, I'm always conscious, so I don't have any pain. Of course. About, I don't know, 4 hours ago probably arguing with my wife, maybe 6 hours ago arguing with her about something else. I'm more often not mindful than I am mindful. There's no doubt about that.
And what stage do you actually become aware of that then?
What stage?
Yeah.
It's funny because I haven't thought about this in a while, but I used to look at mindfulness as something that it starts off as hindsight, reflection and hindsight. It's like, oh, yesterday I guess what I was really doing was this, and I become mindful of something that happened in the past.
Sure.
It slowly starts becoming, you become aware of something. The more times you become aware of it, you notice it a little bit closer.
Sure.
And it's like this point, right? And mindfulness is in the present moment.
Yeah.
And so I guess the word mindfulness is when that awareness becomes synced up, not the next day, a day after, but it becomes right now.
There and then.
Here, now. And so I'm becoming aware of what I'm doing that I was doing automatically unconsciously without aware. I'm becoming aware of it right now as it's happening, and I think that's what mindfulness is. And maybe even a little bit before, right? It's not what I'm doing, it's what I was about to do. It's where my unconscious pattern was leading me. And I think that's the real power of mindfulness, when you can get just before the action and you can take right action, as the Buddhists would say.
And do you teach any kind of techniques to your clients about how they can become more present?
I don't teach in my coaching. I mean, my YouTube channel is all about sharing insights and ideas, but in my coaching, I'm pretty hardcore with drawing their own wisdom out of them. So I will ask questions sometimes that lead them to connecting with their own understanding about what presence is for them. Where would you go, or what do you know that you need to do right now when your head is this busy? And people always inevitably say, I need to slow down, I need to take space. And if you were to do that, how would you do that? And I have one of my clients is a founder of a startup, and recently he discovered in his own, just through these types of questions, that what he needs to do is to go into this place he calls the cave. It's like a small little room with no windows, and turn the light off at his company, where he can just sit in there by himself and just meditate. And so he found his own way to create mindfulness just through inquiry. And that's the thing, I don't think it needs to be taught. I think it can be drawn out of people, because I think at a deeper level we know that slowing down and reconnecting to nature or to the present moment is what we need, all of us.
What is it that helps you become present? Is it going into nature, or is there any particular, anything else that works for you?
Nature is huge. I love the ocean. You said today you want to live by the sea, so do I. I grew up near the ocean. There's something about the horizon, the sound of the waves, that always brings me into presence. Being in the forest, being barefoot, I like hiking barefoot and being barefoot, just being grounded to the earth. Reading certain types of books help me to just slow down and be more present. Any singular focus thing, working out, anything where I'm really connected to my body, exercise, cycling for hours and hours on end, any like repetitious movements, especially like a pedaling, left, right for hours. I guess it's kind of like a mantra too, like cycling over the same song, and you know, people get annoyed. People have like from college roommates all up to my wife now, get so annoyed that I listen to like the same few songs over and over and over again. But there's something about the repetition of something that just brings me into a present moment. It's not about the song anymore, it's the pattern. So
but there are obviously these people in the city who live hectic lives, who need things like mindfulness the most, and also society as a whole.
So I'm kind of an ass when it comes to this stuff. Like, I love that you asked me this question, but I hate these kinds of questions, because inside the question is an acceptance and a justification that city life, some people, you know, they just don't have access. It's just too, you know, they just don't have the time. It's like, screw that. Like, yes, they don't have the time because they're not creating it, they're not making it. And I don't want to try to come up with some little like special way that you can, in your 5 minutes a day, you can squeeze in your mindfulness practice. You just need your 5 minutes and your little meditation pillow and your high rise with like all the shit going on. It's like, if you don't have it, it's because you're not creating it. And like, if you want nature, buy a fucking ticket to the ocean.
John, how did you become a coach?
I became a coach because we're getting so wet, but we love it. We're mindful. I know. I became a coach because I've been self-employed my whole life. I've had my own businesses. I was living out of a backpack, traveling the world, and running a business from it. And people were asking me for advice, and I was like helping people informally. And I was also into magic as an entertainer. I liked making you kind of laugh at my magic tricks when I do them, but I liked making things disappear. I like messing with the mind. I got into psychological magic, and I learned about this, and that somehow the psychological magic world has got involved with the coaching world, and I discovered coaching, and I was like, wow, I kind of do that already. I could get paid to help people with stuff. Cool. So and I'd also studied stuff like Buddhism, and I was into spirituality and, you know, philosophy and stuff, just on my own personal interests. And so these things all kind of came together about 5 years ago, and I started just helping people in London. I was running workshops, and that culminated over a few years. I started running bigger workshops, doing public talks, taking on more and more clients, and now, it's taken off, and it's my full-time thing, and I love it.
And what have you discovered about yourself through being a coach?
Recently, I learned that I'm a leader. I told you about that. Like, it was my coach that helped me to see that I'm a leader and I coach leaders. I never really took that word on before, because I was like, a leader is supposed to be somebody running a company with hundreds of employees, but it's like, John, you've got thousands of people who follow your work. Your clients are leaders of, you know, small and medium-sized companies. You create impact. And I was like, a leader? But yeah, I guess. So realizing I'm a leader has been quite cool. I sit there and listen to my clients who all inspire me. They're all amazing. They all do huge, awesome, crazy things. And I listen to them, and I'm like, yeah, fuck, that's right. I need to do that. It's like they're like so switched on, and they're so brilliant, and they're facing fears and doing things that they love, and it's like, it's so inspiring. And so I mean, it's so much my own personal growth. And the only way that I can serve my clients continually is to continue to grow. And so it's like a necessary requirement of my job to keep digging deeper into learning and to growing and screwing up.
Screwing up is a massive part of it, isn't it?
Yeah, big time.
That's where our kind of deeper insights and the most learning comes. Where you screw up.
My clients, every week, they have to report on their self-coaching reports, where did I screw up this week?
Yeah, it's that question.
It's the most important question, because if they're not screwing up, then they're not leaning into their edge, they're not doing anything that makes them uncomfortable, they're not going to grow.
Can you share some kind of, like, from your own experience about how someone can go from doing like a job that they actually would hate, and that's the way that they would describe it, to turning it around and maybe discovering through curiosity something that they love. Well, I think it takes us right back to the beginning of the conversation, which is it starts with mindfulness. It's about becoming mindful of your own internal feelings, like when am I doing something I enjoy, when am I not. If you don't even know what you would love to do, like future tense, then you need to get in touch with what you love now, like what are the things that you do love. Your ability to connect with what you would love is the tool that you use to create a life that you love. So it's not about knowing the end result, it's about being able to connect with what an end result might be that you would love, so that you can do that on a moment-by-moment basis and make decisions from that place
And so that's why I say it's like start small, get practice. One of my clients calls it exercising your heart muscle.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and then just check in with yourself. What was it like? What did it feel like to do something that I love to do? How do I feel about that? What else would I love to do? And do some of that. Feel it, imagine it, act on it, experience it. Every time you go through that cycle, you learn it. It's like learning to ride a bike. Every time you get on it, you get a little bit better, and you got to keep getting on.
Practice makes perfect.
Practice does. Even the practice of getting to know your heart. I mean, like, why would that be any different?
A big part of it. I think a big part of that discovery process is connection.
With others too?
Yeah, totally. With connection with yourself and with others.
The Ethics of Authenticity by Charles Taylor. He's a living philosopher. He talks about how human beings are dialogical. And what he means by that is that who we are, our being, is the result of a dialogue between ourselves and others.
Yeah.
And that, like, who I am right now, is somebody I'm becoming as a result of this dialogue with you. Like, who I am when I leave this interview is slightly different than it was when I sat down, and I am the result of us. And so connection is really a super fundamental part of who you become. We
aren't just our thoughts and our feelings either.
No, we're more than that. We're also our bodies.
Can you talk a bit more about that?
Yeah,
that concept?
We're more thoughts and feelings. Yeah. Well, you know, it's funny because I've got a really. I started off as like Catholic, raised Catholic, and as soon as I could become cognitive of all the heresy within the church and the ridiculousness of it, I became very atheist. Stopped going as soon as I was confirmed and I was allowed to. Got into science, physics, math, and I was like super atheist. And I had a brief stint of being born again Christian because I had some friends' parents that like giving me all these fictional novels who were like, Jesus, you're saved, and I was like, save me. And so I was like bringing my parents to like born again Christian plays. I was like, you gotta get on your knees. And after a while I got into a relationship and I was like, can't have sex till marriage. And I was like, forget this Christ thing. And then I went back into being just kind of agnostic. And that pretty much stuck into my late 20s when I started exploring Eastern philosophies and kind of opening my mind to a bigger picture of what the word God could actually mean and spirit. And I think, you know, from that and then my journey through personal development stuff and spirituality and learning about myth and Joseph Campbell's work and ritual, my mind is kind of opened back up to it in a big way. And now I really connect with the idea of spirit more than anything. I like the idea that there is a spirit, there is a wholeness, there is a oneness, like, and everything in the world and the universe is just unfolding through this Cartesian, three-dimensional physical universe that we experience. And so the creative potential that we have, both genetically, as human beings, biologically, physically, but also the creative potential mimetically, like the ability we have to create things through our ideas, through our sharing. To me, that's spirit. It's just there's a potential for an unfolding. I think that there's one spirit, and that we're all here as conduits for that, in our own, and we bring that into the world in our own unique ways. We're different kind of antennae.
Because your background is more scientific, isn't it?
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah. My academic background.
Your academic background.
My interest from then has broadened, but
could you say now you've become a lot more open-minded and like you're well, even since we've met as well, you've become
now I believe in angels just like you. Yeah, for sure. I think it's been last few years has been even more of a journey into that, but yeah, intuition is a huge thing for me now, and I don't see them as separate anymore. Intuition, science, spirituality, to me that's just one big smorgasbord of being alive. It's not like there's no longer conflict.
What was it that changed those views, or has it just been like a series of events that have happened, or
it's been a series of understandings? I think the work of Joseph Campbell, the work of David Bohm, recently Charles Eisenstein. I've been reading a lot of his work. Nietzsche, a philosopher that I think is very misunderstood, especially by people that haven't studied him but quote him all the time. You know, physics. My interest in physics because I'm interested in association and patterns, and I'm just looking for the similarities and differences in all these things. And I think that, you know, when you're looking at lots of different areas, you start to see common threads and of truth. It feels like truth, whatever it is.
Yeah,
like, right?
Sure.
So yeah, I've just been hanging on to that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Very cool.
You're looking like completely windswept and soaking wet now.
But that's cool. I'm at peace. The sun's just about to break for us as well. You can see that.
That's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a beautiful setting.
It is. It's a good conversation, Cheryl.
It was, yeah.
I love you.
I love you too. Namaste.
Namaste, motherfucker.
Namaste, motherfucker. That was a new thing I taught John today as
Very
well.
Cool. It's very good. I like the oxymoron of it, the irony.
Cool.
Much love.
Much love.
So if you like this video, or if you like the idea in this video at least, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I put out new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Also, if you're into it, share it with your friends. Why not? Why keep it all to yourself? Tweet it, Facebook it, Google Plus it, whatever you can do, get it out there. And hey, if you want to learn more about creating passion, purpose, and prosperity in your life, and if you want to learn more about becoming a leader in your life, then hit up my website. You can learn more there. Finally, the best insights usually happen down below in the discussion. So leave a comment, ask questions, challenge me. You know, if you will, share your own story. I'd love to hear. Talk to you soon. Much love.